What is going on, guys? Stas here. Welcome back to another video. Cheers, by the way. Happy Friday. I appreciate you all for tuning in as Palantir stock, well, is down and the entire market's down, and we have to break it down in this video. So guys, hit the like button, feel free to subscribe, take a sip of your coffee, of course, join the free email stock newsletter, and check out my Patreon for my real-time portfolio updates. All those links are down below. And now let's dive into it, guys. So we are down on Palantir stock, about 1% in the red right now, as every index in the U.S. market is down as well. Not a lot, not the end of the world, but we are down. The S&P's down currently about 0.1%. Same with QQQ. Actually, QQQ's down more like 0.25%, as the Dow's down half and the Russell's down 0.5% as well. So we're down on the indexes, which honestly does not surprise me. We'll cover that here in a couple of minutes. And Palantir is down a little bit as well, 1%. Which, honestly, that doesn't surprise me either. You guys can see here it's been quite the rocky day. We opened up at $154, $55 a share, saw a sell-off, a drawdown right off the bat in the first, hour of trading. Then we saw a bit of a recovery, which ended up being met with more selling, which you guys can see, which after that second round of selling, we actually got back down to 152.50. We held that support, saw another pop to about 154, and now we're back to 152.50, which is a big level of support for Palantir, which if we're looking at the intraday here, we are putting in subtle lower highs. You're noticing that into that support at 152.50. And if we pull up this 5-day, 5-minute, you guys can see we hit all-time highs yesterday not after the bell, but kind of in the second half of the day. We hit all-time highs. Now we're seeing a bit of a drawdown. And the reality is here, guys, on the 30-minute chart, you can see we're still very much so breaking out. You know, we saw resistance at about 146 to 148 for about 3-4 weeks. We finally broke out of that. The triangle that we're noticing on this 1-hour chart, that's playing out. So what we're getting right now is simply a little pullback within the overall breakout, as, again, we got a little hot yesterday. We hit all-time highs. Now we're just getting a little sell-off. And what better day to do it than on a Friday where the entire market's selling off anyway? You know what I mean? This is a great day for Palantir to just sell off a little bit. And in the grand scheme of things, guys, we're still above $152 a share. We're still well above this 146, 148 previous resistance. We're still above the 180 SMA on this 30-minute chart, on the 1-hour chart as well. We're actually well above the 180, and we're above the 50 SMA on this time frame. So really, guys, this is nothing much, right? Today's update is nothing too exciting. We're just simply selling off a little bit within the overall breakout, which you can really see on this 4-hour time frame. And you can even make an argument that, hey, Palantir, it might be better for it to come down even more before earnings. We have earnings in about 2-3 weeks on the 4th of August, and we're a little overbought now. Let's keep it real on the RSI, a little overbought on the 4-hour chart. So you could argue, hey, it might be a good idea, or not a good idea. Like, we can be like, yeah, Palantir, do this, right? You know, we can't do that, obviously. But it might be nice, let's just say that, for this to cool off maybe a little more. Maybe another couple dollars a share. Maybe if it came down to, let's say, 147, 148, 150 even. Maybe that's where it could come down to and consolidate a little bit more. But either way, however this plays out, we can't 100% predict the future, but what we can see is what we see in front of us, which, again, Palantir, it's clearly breaking out, obviously, and this is just simply a little pullback, and that's how we have to play it, you know what I mean? And if you're a swing trader, maybe if you're looking to hop in and out of this thing really quickly, this pullback might be opening up an opportunity, potentially, in the overall momentum within the overall breakout, this pullback could be opening up an opportunity. Not saying for sure that you need to go buy this, or I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm saying a pullback is actually a good thing, especially for a stock that's been going up like this. So let me show you now quickly. And by the way, hit the like button, guys. Feel free to subscribe. I think 50 to 60% of you guys watch the content, funny enough, according to my analytics, but you're not subscribed. So if that's you, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you all for tuning in as always. Without you, this channel obviously wouldn't be possible. I'd be looking like a crazy person, making these videos, talking to nobody. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. But yeah, that's kind of it for Palantir. We're selling off a little bit now in the midst of a red day. It kind of makes sense. I mean, look, it's not that big of a deal. SPY is just coming off of hitting all-time highs, I think, yesterday. So, okay, we're selling off a little bit. Actually, that might have been in the pre-market or the overnight market. Either way, we're still looking great on SPY, even though we sold off a little bit today, or we're selling off a little bit today. QQQ, same thing, just hit all-time highs actually today, and now it's selling off a little bit, and we're still obviously breaking out of this channel. We're actually holding the resistance of the channel as support. You guys see that, which is nice. The Russell, it's down a little bit, but still up a lot over the last couple of weeks. Same with the Dow, which is within striking distance right now of all-time highs. All-time highs were hit at 45,073 points. Now we're at 44,200. To give you guys some perspective, we're about 800 to 1,000 points away from all-time highs on the Dow Jones. That's where we're at. So let me show you now some stocks that are moving in either direction today to wrap off this video, guys. So actually, let me share with you all Netflix. Netflix reported earnings yesterday, and their stock's down over 5% today. And I looked at the numbers, guys. The numbers were pretty good. I just think the stock was way too hot heading into earnings. And this is an example of a stock that was hot into earnings. They reported good numbers. It's not like their numbers sucked, but their stock's selling off because it was just way too hyped. And that's what happens sometimes, man. Stocks could be running up. Earnings could be good. You might think, oh, the stock needs to go up more, right? But no, it sells off. It could be because the earnings weren't that good. Maybe it's a sell the news event, buy the rumor, sell the news, right? And, we're just down a little bit, 5%. And from what I remember, Netflix beat EPS, beat revenue. They're growing nicely. Again, it's just the stock was just way too hot. It ran up for essentially an entire quarter. Last time Netflix reported earnings, the stock was at $900. Think about that, $900, and it peaked at $13.50 about 2 weeks ago. So it ran up 45% into earnings. It's like, come on, man. This company, it's massive already. For it to run 50% into earnings and for it to sell off 5% after earnings, it's not surprising. It's not surprising, and we're still up massively. This is just a simple pullback, so I'm watching it very closely in the short term. What else is down? Circle, which is not surprising considering that was up a lot yesterday. Circle stock's down. What else? Nvidia's slipping a little bit. Not surprising. That has been hot for a minute now, for a couple days. What's moving up today? Tesla is up today. It's up 2%, starting to push above these moving averages on the 4-hour, but not quite yet breaking out of the wedge, which might happen if it takes out, let's say, 335, 340, maybe after earnings this upcoming week. I think they're on Wednesday. They're on Wednesday after the bell. If we're able to take out this wedge, guys, watch for a bigger breakout on Tesla. It could be happening. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Of course, as always, do your own research. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Check out the Patreon for my portfolio updates. That's down below. And with that being said, guys, have a great weekend. Cheers. I'll catch you in the next video.